Good morning, everyone. I am Harsh Ravan Dole. I am from Midcon Planeti Farm here in Nashik. So today we will see the topic which is very interesting, and usually we haven't tapped that very much in this decade. So our topic is satellite-based carbon sequestration monitoring in agriculture. Agriculture has ability to store carbon in soils and vegetation. Why it is important? Because it will help to mitigate climate change. So I would like to say that we will start this topic, and main thing is that we now usually see this carbon sequestration as usually as an bonus, but we don't see it as an additional income. We should also see it as an additional income for farmers, because this is the area where we should be seeing, or we should be knowing about more about these things. And there are a lot of things in this that will help for the farmers and the other advisories and agribusiness related companies. Traditionally, carbon measurement relies on field surveys, but I am going to propose you the idea that we will do it using the satellite and geospatial technologies, so that we can monitor it. So what are the challenges in this? Like climate change is the major challenge in agriculture. So do you know that about 34% of the emissions come from the agricultural land? The emissions are like carbon dioxide or nitrous oxide. So usually we don't see it as a major. We usually don't see it as a major thing in that, but this will affect the climate eventually. Usually we see that industries make emissions, and there are many more things. The main thing is that the greenhouse gas emissions. So greenhouse gas emissions are like carbon dioxide, methane, ethane, and carbon monoxide. So usually what happens when these gases are emitted, these gases increases the temperature of the earth, and that's why we call it as global warming. And do you know that in past year it has increased to about 2%, even though we see it as a small number, but it creates an effect in the coming years. We are facing the issues in agriculture like climate change because of this. So in this carbon dioxide, like atmospheric carbon dioxide levels increased from 280 ppm, that is parts per million, to more than 420 ppm today. This increased gases leads to global warming and environmental impacts. There are other things also for that, but I would like to focus on the agricultural emissions. So how does this emissions happens? When we do an agricultural practice, like we are doing tillage or something, then we are turning the soil upside down, and the gas trap like carbon dioxide or methane gas trap gets into the atmosphere. So that is the thing that will affect in the future. But do you know that this will help the farmer also? Like if we use this as a carbon sink, like in the carbon sequestration, I will come to it, and I will come to it like I will tell the challenge of monitoring into that. So what are the challenges of monitoring? Like it is difficult to monitor. If we say that we are going traditionally, then traditional methods are usually time consuming, and sometimes it is like there are difficult terrains for that. And for doing it, we have the problem of like labors, and we are facing the problem recently of the labors and very different problems into that. So the potential of an agricultural land of storing a carbon is very good, but we usually don't see it as a incentive or as a bonus. So the main challenge is that if you go it traditional way, then it is expensive, time consuming, and it is limited to a small area. And the main thing is that in the June, July, that is in the Kharif season, for the satellite it will be difficult for analyzing the data since there is a cloud cover. But I would like to say that SAR, synthetic aperture radar, can be helpful into that. The L band of that is a master stroke in this, that it will be helpful for us. Even though there are cloud cover, we can detect the carbon in the soil. So I would like to tell you what is the carbon sequestration. Carbon sequestration is process. It is a process of capturing carbon dioxide from atmosphere and converting it into the carbon sink. Like the plants, what do the plants do? They will convert it into the carbon sink, and that carbon will be stored in these soils. So plants absorb carbon dioxide through the photosynthesis, and this absorbed carbon is stored in plant biomass. Plant biomass are like leaves, stems, roots, etc., and the soil organic carbon. This process helps to reduce the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, since the carbon dioxide has been trapped from the photosynthesis and that is been converted into the soil storage. So I would like to say that carbon sequestration in agriculture. I would like to point the C3 and C4 plants. C3 plants are something that it converts into the 3 carbon. It will convert into a 3 carbons chain. That is 3 phosphoglycerate, and for the C4 it is oxaloacetate. So C4 is considered the best for the carbon storage. In C4, that is sugarcane or maize, or you can say that it's millet. And for C3, some crops like wheat, rice and cotton. So in this, the main thing I would like to say that crops absorb the carbon dioxide and convert it into the biomass. This is the main thing that we will look into. So carbon enters soil through roots, crop residues or organic matter. Crop residues, like when we have completed our harvesting, and the remaining part, the root stock, that will be converted to the biomass, and that will eventually create the organic matter. Then I would say that the practices that increases the carbon. So the practices are like you can do the cover cropping, crop rotation, reduce tillage and agroforestry. I will come to it in a little while. So why carbon sequestration matters? Why do you think that this carbon sequestration will benefit, or why does it matters? So it matters in reducing atmospheric carbon dioxide. So if we monitor it correctly and we will do the carbon sequestration, carbon crediting, this will help farmers also, and also the main thing is we will be eventually impacting our climate. Like we will do the mitigation of climate change, that is by reducing the carbon dioxide. This will improve the soil fertility and also increase the water retention, and also this will help in production, or the crop productivity will increase. This will also increase soil carbon by 0.4% annually. This could reduce emissions. And I would come to the benefits of it, like for the farmers, for the environment, and the industries and the agribusinesses. So for the farmers, the main thing is the soil fertility will be improved, there will be higher production, and there will be additional income from the carbon credit. This is little bit debatable part, but I would like to say that in future it is going to be a really good thing for the farmers, because now we see it as a bonus, but in coming years, if we do it correctly and we do the monitoring at the right part, then it will be an additional income. Because now we are in the going on phase, like research phase, and we are in the pilot stage. It is not yet properly signified about that, but for the farmers it will be very useful in the future. Coming to the environment, in the environment we know about the global warming and the climate change. So indirectly we are reducing the carbon emission, and we are indirectly mitigating the climate change, and this will eventually help the farmers. So all these three things are related to each other. Like for the farmers, they're getting bonus. For now we say it is a bonus, and for the environment purpose, we are giving it a really good thing, like we are mitigating the climate change, and this will help the biodiversity also. And now we will see for the industrial part or the agribusiness part. So agribusiness part, this will help to meet the net zero goals till the like the Viksit Bharat 2047. We have goals for net zero emission till 2070. So we can accelerate it by doing this, like carbon sequestration, means satellite based carbon sequestration monitoring. We can help to do the sustainability, like sustainability development goals are being set, so we can help into that. So what the companies will get? Companies will first get the credit points, like carbon credits. These carbon credits will give an income to them also. Means that will be a profit for them. And you have to actually work very less into this portion, and you are getting more of it. Let's say for the organizations like Sayadri and many food farmers producing organizations, they will eventually get the carbon credits, and they will have their commission from the agricultural lands. So they are getting this money, and they will get this profit. So I will tell the practical agricultural application. So the thing is, there are different types of practices in agriculture, like tillage or conservation tillage. So what this will do is, in this we have to use different methods in order to make a carbon sink. Like carbon sink is where the carbon will be stored in the soil, and that will be used as a carbon credit, and we will earn money through this, or we can say that some profit will be earned through the carbon credits. So I would like to focus more on this agroforestry. Like in the agroforestry, you are using forest, means you are using a trees or like horticultural trees, and also you are doing the farming into that, like the intercropping we do. And then in this, the crop rotation, we should use the legumes crop that will give that will provide a brief period for the soil to get healthy again. So usually in farming, we usually see the crop cycles. In this crop cycle, we usually keep doing the same cycle. Like after groundnut, we will sow the cumin, then we will keep on that things. In our area, like we will do cotton, then watermelon, then we are not giving the soil the time to recover. So I think that this crop rotation practice will help into that, and we can integrate the legume crops into this. That will, the ribosomes will use the carbon that will recover the carbon in the soil. In this, carbon sequestration depends on the balance. The main balance will be the carbon inputs, that is plant biomass, and carbon losses like decomposition. and the emission through the agricultural practices. So, what are the challenges in measuring carbon sequestration? Main challenge will be that the fields are very vast, the available area is very vast, and there are difficult terrains in agriculture. Like if you see a coffee plantation or any terrace farming, there will be difficulty in doing the carbon monitoring. And so I would like to say that soil carbon variability can reach about 30 to 50% within a single field. This is the problem we will face while doing this. Then field sampling. Field sampling is very difficult in case of the manual. Like if you are doing soil testing and all, then it will be very difficult for it. But for this, I have a simple solution. Like we can use satellites, and using satellites we can analyze the area, and analyzing the area we will know about the organic carbon, then carbon availability. This will be helpful. So I would like to tell about the geospatial technologies in carbon monitoring. Technologies used will be like satellite data, remote sensing, geographical information system, and artificial intelligence. So in this, we will actually do a large scale monitoring, and we will analyze it in the large scale, like difficult terrains or difficult landscapes. We can do that. The purpose will be to enable large scale environmental monitoring. And the key technologies are the satellite data, remote sensing, and GIS and AI. Geospatial technologies allows continuous observation of agricultural land. This will be very helpful into the carbon crediting. I will come to it in the next part. So the life cycle of the carbon credit. In this life cycle, okay, so in this life cycle, the carbon credit process I will tell you in detail. So we have to decide a carbon project first. Then after deciding a carbon project, then we have to do a registry. So there are different types of registry, that like VERA and gold standard. I will come to it and I will explain you this registry. It is very stringent and very strict, and in this, once you register, you have to give all the details, like how much carbon credit you have, how much you are working on this part, and this will be very strict. And after that, carbon sequestration is measured, and then project is registered under the carbon standard. After it is been verified, then it will be registered, and then it will be an independent verification also, that like internal committees, and then carbon credits are issued from the committees. And then the main thing is you will use that credits in the carbon markets, like for what we were discussing, that we will earn or we will get the incentives from this. So one carbon credit equivalents to around 1 ton of carbon dioxide. That means around 33.67% of the CO2. Then the carbon registry. In the carbon registry, this I told you in the previous slide that they are very stringent and very strict. So in India, we usually see these two standards, that are VERA, verified carbon standard, and the gold standard. Gold standard is set by WWF, Worldwide Fund. So we usually use this one. And in America, they will see for the American Carbon Registry and Climate Action Reserve. So if you are seeing into a carbon credits or a carbon project for a company, then you will go for VERA and gold standard. what these registries do is that it will prevent the double counting of carbon credits. That means the fraud or forgery of the carbon credits will not happen in this, as the registries will prevent these things. Registries are provided so that there is no confusion in this, and the exact carbon credit money is given to the companies or the farmers depending on the customers. So how does the satellite data supports carbon monitoring? We will see the large scale land monitoring, and then we use the land use and the crop mapping. So in that we will usually use the NDVI, NDWI, GNDVI, different types of indices, and the digital spectrum signatures that will be helpful for us to know about the areas. And after that we will do the vegetation monitoring. In that we will know about where are the forest, where is the plantations, and many other things into that. And what we will do is we will do the biomass estimation, and after that biomass estimation will help us into the carbon sequestration monitoring. So what is the role of remote sensing and GIS into this? Remote sensing will analyze the satellite imagery. In remote sensing, that Landsat, Sentinel, that will be used, like they are the polar orbiting satellites. So we get the data after 5 days or 4 days, depending on the orbit of that satellite. So for remote sensing, we will get the imagery like for the resolution of around 10 meter, 20 meter, 30 meters, depending on that. And the use of spectral indices will be done in the GIS part, but the detection will be done by the satellites. This will help to estimate vegetation density and biomass